The greatest ideas have come from sitting on the toilet. Every day, some company, individual, or group is known for giving the public a load of bullshit. Come here to get your daily dose of shit by Alan Cousin. It's time you hear the shit everyone wants to know.
Hello out there, and welcome to your Daily Dose of Shit with your host, of course, Mr. Alan Cousin. Yes, I hope you are enjoying your day. I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope you had a wonderful weekend. I know it's Tuesday, but I kind of took an extra day off, so I had a 3-day weekend. And let me tell you, if the United States could just give a 3-day weekend every week, I think we have a whole lot more happier employees. But, you know, as I said, that's a dream probably that will never come true. Let's talk today. So what's on my mind? What did I think about as I sat on my nice porcelain throne? I would like to say I thought about the politics of what's going on with the debt ceiling and also, of course, with DeSantis in Florida. But honestly, I'm sure you've heard enough of that and you probably don't want to hear any more. So let's move on to something that might be of interest actually, shall we? Yes. So I'm going to talk about mystery. Mystery, that is. What conspiracy theories? What situations where supposedly things are going on, UFOs, unknowns, something like that. But mostly about Antarctica. Antarctica, right? Don't really think about it. Don't really go there. Don't really hear much about it. But amazing with Antarctica. It's very important to all countries in the world. I mean, China, Russia, United States of America tend to be in Antarctica pretty much all throughout the year. Why? Why would these countries want to be in such a prominently cold place most of the time, you ask? Well, guess what? I want to give you an answer. So, of course, I'm sure you've heard of a SAP. And if you have not heard of SAP, don't feel stupid because most people haven't. SAP or Special Access Programs. Special Access Programs are actually governmental programs that are funded either by the government or funded by a third source party that helps the government in order to, quote-unquote, protect the world or implore and explore to improve the world in the future of it. So, special access programs get anywhere between billions and millions of dollars, basically, to do certain programs geologically, scientifically, microbiology, so on and so forth. Even aliens, of course, are under special access programs. Now, think about Antarctica. Antarctica has been chosen as a location for many, many special access programs, not only for the United States, but for China, as well as Russia and other countries including Switzerland and even England in some cases. Now, I've been doing my research, of course, being that I am with the media, and of course I get to hear quite often a lot of stories that may come up in Antarctica, but at the same time I've decided to do my own personalized research as well because I'm curious to find out what is really going on in that cold area of the world where hardly anyone goes. And if you actually try to access certain spots, you will be immediately told that you are not able to do so, and if you don't leave, you may be actually arrested or shot. So one of the things I've discovered is that many people have gone to Antarctica. Colonel Byrd, who basically talked about how there was another world inside the actual core of the Earth, he has plane crash actually in Antarctica. We heard about a scientist who basically was a doctor of sorts. He was actually working for the military, and he was in Antarctica and got discharged unfortunately, because he was asking too many questions and trying to find out more and more information about these things, I would say, that was being seen remotely in different parts of Antarctica, and these individuals who were being attacked by these things that were remotely in certain areas and aspects of Antarctica. And what we discovered, though of course we can't prove it because the information has now been taken away and no longer can be found, is that These were gigantic spiders. Basically, where their length of their foot went was 30 human feet apart. So basically, you're looking at a spider that's probably about the size of maybe 6 foot high and about 30 feet wide. And these spiders were supposedly in Antarctica and were defrozen as they were frozen in the tundra, but was unfortunately unfrozen. And because they thought they would be dead when they were unfrozen, they actually were not dead. They came back to life and attacked the individuals of a certain military base and certain counter-objective scientists from China as well as the U.S. And then, of course, we have pyramids. We do know about the pyramids being in Africa, being in Egypt, being in China, but there are also some pyramids that are located in Antarctica. But because of the Arctic snow and tundra, and also because of the classification of projects, many people are not allowed to go to Antarctica to actually physically see these pyramids or know that they exist. And if you try to look from the actual space, because of the white tundra, it would be very difficult to see the pyramids, actually, because of all the snow covering it. And then we, of course, know of various UFOs, or UAPs as they call them now, who have crashed into the Antarctica and basically were discovered by either China or by Russia or by U.S. government officials, and had research done upon those specific vehicles and aircrafts. And we also have heard that supposedly there are quote-unquote monsters within the Antarctica lakes and oceans that cannot be defined or described because of how they consist and look and how huge they are. Now, like I said, is this plausible? Very much so. Is it impossible that it exists? No, not of course. But it all believes on the whole word of that word, belief. If you believe it's true, then it is. If you don't believe it's true, then it's not. If you feel like it cannot be true, then you'll never believe. If you believe that there's opportunity for anything to be true, then you can believe. And the thing about the situation here is that we've already heard about certain things with Sasquatch or Loch Ness monsters or the city of Atlantis that still have not been redeemed because of how far in depth it went when it supposedly fell from an island. And then, of course, the Bermuda Triangle, which is hardly ever spoken about, but of course still exists, where, of course, if you fly in that area, no compass can work because of the magnitude of frequency and level of radioactivity that causes all compasses to go crazy. These are all situations that are no longer being discussed, no longer being popped out in magazines, newspapers, articles, online, on forums or blogs, because basically, as you can tell, they want to make sure that we don't consider talking about it, knowing about it, or wanting to discover and know more about it. So that's the situation, is that if you don't speak it, it doesn't exist. But guess what? It does exist. Because whether we speak about it or not, it's still there. And if it's still there, it does have an existence. And it amazes me how people believe that there is no plausibility or possibility or probability of these things existing. But yet here we are. We breathe, we wake, we act, we do many things simultaneously as human beings, as well as their animals, cats, pets, monkeys, dogs, turtles, fish, you name it. And you are telling me that because these things exist, that there's not a possibility that another opportunity of existence can be created or formed or discovered? I mean, we have amoeba that can change forms and basically communicate. We have water that has been discovered that can communicate because of the plankton and amoeba in that water. They have been discovered that back as long as 2002, actually, Switzerland scientists were talking with water by using Morse code. These are things that we are not told about. These are things that are not given out to the public, but these are things that truly do exist. And think about it. There's a universe. There's galaxies. There's multiple universes out there.
You think we're the only ones living? The only ones of existence? That God would only make one living existence? Come on, really? Come on. You're not that narcissistic, are you? So that's the thing that interests me is Antarctica. If I had the opportunity to go there, though I really hate frostbite and I really hate the cold, I'm very curious to find out what's going on in good old Antarctica. Because many things are happening as we speak today. And many things are being discovered, but yet are not being told or passed on as informative information to the rest of us. Because, quote unquote, either we're not ready to hear it or they believe that we shouldn't know. But I will say this, sooner or later information will be broken, sooner or later information will be given out. Sooner or later you will not be able to hide all as you have done in the past. Because sooner or later, we, the people, will want to discover. We, the people, will want to know. And we, the people, will find out and do whatever we can to discover and find out the information that we want and seek. It's interesting. Very interesting when you think about that. Just a short amount of things I told you, which is really just not even a thimble of all the things that have occurred in that location of Antarctica. But it makes you wonder what's going on. Makes you wonder what's actually there, and it makes you wonder what is being discovered as we speak. Hopefully sooner than later, we'll find out.
I'll leave you there and we'll move on to it more tomorrow. But there you go. That was my daily dose of shit of information, because you know what? Sometimes you just need to throw it out there just to let people know that, hey, there's some information that you really don't know what's going on and you never heard of, but it's actually living proof and exists. But you know what? We'll talk more about that tomorrow. Till then, always remember, idiocy is growing at a rapid pace. Wear your tinfoil hats, wear your sunglasses, and do not look them in the eye.
Thanks for listening to your daily dose of shit talk show. If you have some insights, questions, or information of bullshit to pass on, please email us at momentousevents@aol.com. Make sure to come back daily to hear some new shit about money, business, life, and who knows what else as I take a dump on the toilet.